both season highs, and with that efficiency and that volume means the Alabama back row will be busy.
That back row being Bertucci, Rapetti, and Brown being the defensive specialists for Alabama are going to have to do their part. They've done it so far this season, starting in every match, playing in every set. And as you can see from these numbers, they make up for 60% of Alabama's defensive production in the back row.
Let's get rocking inside Foster Auditorium. Alabama, Auburn. Great rivalry night here on a Wednesday night in the SEC. Lauren Dreves, the true freshman, gets us underway for Auburn. And here we go from Tuscaloosa. Sophie Agee upped in the back row by Dreves. Far side attack goes into the net for Shear, and it's Alabama who gets the scoring started.
You can feel how excited everyone is here in Foster Auditorium to see that first point go to the Tide off of a rare error from Shear.
Madison Shear Jr., who's been fantastic, averaging about 3.5 kills per set to lead the way for the Tigers. She gets another swing, and it's popped up by Callie Kiefer. Back set, roll shot is upped. Shear turned away. Shear once more. Alabama into the net. Auburn scores. First point of the night for the Tigers to even it up at 1.
Very unfortunate error there that time. Alabama's block up in the net. You see Auburn just now. I think all of their sets so far this match have gone to the outside to Shear. They're really trying to get her started. That time she had several great swings. Alabama picked them up, just has to stay out of the net.
Season high 18 kills for her Sunday against Mississippi State in the 4-set win as that serve goes long to give the point back to Bama.
What happens at the service line, Noah, I think is going to be a big deal tonight, especially for Alabama. They've got to keep Auburn's offense out of system with tough serves.
Here's a back set. Cross-court swing is upped by Kiefer. Near side pin, shoved away. Dunaway into the block, but played by Towns. Free ball to Bama, tied with a chance in system. Dunaway is upped. Bella Bell, rejected. Shear, dug up. Overpass is dropped down.
What a great rally. It looks like there's a bit of confusion on the court as to whether or not there was a call that was missed earlier in the point. But the point will stand. Auburn's keeping the point. I mean, that was great defense on both sides of the net, especially from some of Alabama's non-defensive players. You can see Callie Kiefer, what a reaction right there, keeping that point alive for the Tide.
Kiefer sets to the outside, cross-court swing from Paris Thompson, and the Notre Dame transfer has her first kill.
That swing right there felt like a, hey, I think we deserve to win that last point swing. Beautiful job by Thompson, who was really successful against Auburn in their last matchup on September 29th. Had just great production and is an immediate impact player for the Tide, a transfer in from Notre Dame. Has done a great job taking a big load for the Alabama offense.
Had a season-high 16 kills in that first meeting. Alabama up a point early, but it's evened up immediately by Emma Moore, the freshman in the middle.
That's a great swing by Emma Moore. That's an unfortunate point. If you watch, Jordan Towns had to jump with the setter right here because that ball looked like it was coming over, but such an athletic play out of freshman Kaylee Edson to get that ball to her middle and let her swing with no blocker in front of her.
Pair of true freshmen, by the way. Edson, the freshman setter, Emma Moore, the freshman middle. The overpass to Moore, played by Thompson. Now Thompson on the swing, and the dig goes well out of play. It's a really good start for Paris Thompson tonight.
You can see she just feels the energy right now. Those were two great swings out of her in a really athletic play covering that ball. Now she's back at the service line.
3 years at Notre Dame. This is her first here in Tuscaloosa, and it's been by far the most productive of her 4-year college career. It's a great swing by Lauren Dreves. The freshman tools the block for the Auburn point.
That's one thing both teams are going to need to be thinking about. Both sets of hitters is how can they use the opponent's block to their advantage, and that was a great job by Dreves, swinging off the hands of the Alabama block for the point.
Rashinda Reed even mentioned that to us a couple days ago, that she felt using the block was really important, not trying to avoid the Auburn block. Keyshak with a back set to Towns, played in the back row by Edson. This is Dreves way off the net, dug up by Bertucci, the libero. And Thompson sails it long, no touch. Alabama was immediately asking for it, and Rashinda Reed is reaching for the challenge card.
I'm not gonna lie, from where I'm sitting, that looks like a pretty obvious touch off the block. I thought I could even hear it, which is sometimes the way that you know the opponents touch the ball. That was a really strong swing out of Sophie Agee, something that Rashinda Reed talked a lot about coming into this match, is what the Alabama hitters have to do when it comes to approaching the Auburn block, which is just so dominant. Auburn has figured it out defensively when it comes to what they do on the front row. They've got 2 blockers ranked top 10 in the SEC in blocks per set. And that right there is a great example of what Sophie Agee needs to. She needs to go up, try to swing high on purpose, aim for the top of the Auburn hands. And if you watch in slow-mo, those fingers of the Auburn block, sometimes how you can tell if contact was made. So call overturned. There was a touch on the block. Alabama will get the point, which brings the score to 5-4. Tide's in the lead.
Good challenge used by Rashinda Reed as Sophie Agee uses the hands for the kill. Jordan Towns serving, she goes into the net. That was something you just mentioned a couple points ago, Lane. The service game, especially for Alabama, crucial. They average a lot more service errors than they do aces.
You want, if you're a tough serving team, to average a 1-to-1 ratio of aces to errors. And you can see right now, Alabama's got 1.5 aces to 2.67 errors. That's definitely something they want to improve on. And now, here we are swapping service errors as Auburn floats that ball long. These errors early on in this match are something both coaches are going to want their team to clear up quickly going into future sets. You don't want to hand your opponents points, especially not in a rivalry match like this one.
A couple service errors in the early going on both sides as Callie Kiefer has this one in play. Dreves popped up off the block. Kiefer lunges for it. Agee on the near pin, played by a diving Dreves. And the cross-court swing is there for Bella Bell.
That was a beautiful sharp cross swing. Doing a great job of seeing the Alabama block in front of her. She really just puts that right down the line and goes off the hands of the Alabama defense and Kyla Dunaway.
Agee gets another swing. She's turned away, but Bertucci's right there. Right down the line for Agee, and she places it on the line perfectly.
A scrappy play for the Tide and a really smart shot by Agee. That wasn't her hardest swing, but she did a great job of knowing the Auburn defense was in transition. That setter was going to be releasing out of the right back position, abandoning her defensive role as soon as she went for the off-speed shot. So she just tucked that in the perfect spot on the sideline.
Back set, swing out of the middle, and it's there for the kill by Chelsea McCurdy.
Great job by McCurdy, who one of her strengths is how disciplined she is in transition for Auburn. So she makes herself available on offense, but is dominant from a defensive perspective in terms of her blocking.
Yeah, known way more for the defense than she is the offense. Almost a block and a half per set. Chase Campbell out of the middle destroys it.
Great swing by Chase Campbell, and that's exactly what Alabama needs to be doing right now, is mixing up their offense. We've seen production out of Paris Thompson and Sophie Agee both on the outside. They've got to get those middles involved, and look at the way Chase Campbell just gets so high in the air. Beautiful swing.
Dunn, the back set, picked up by Bertucci. Dunaway on the far pin, cross court. Bell sails it long point Alabama, and the Tide up early here in set one.
That's a moment right there where Bell was looking to go what's called high hands, meaning she was trying to swing intentionally super high on that ball, get just a piece of the fingers of the Alabama block. It's really a game of inches at that point. When you're up in the air like that, that time she misses long.
Bertucci again. What a play by the Alabama libero. Shear is denied. All-around defense on that point for Alabama.
What a defensive point for the Tide. Beautiful block by Dunaway, but Bertucci keeping the ball alive. You see how she just makes such a quick reaction to get under that ball, as there was really not much of a block up. Great dig.
Bell uses the hands for the kill this time. Point Auburn.
That time Bell doing exactly what she was trying to do 2 points ago. Get a piece of the Alabama block on purpose, but send the ball out off the block. That's what's called a tool. When you use the other team's block on purpose, you use it as a tool for a point, and those kills aren't always as fun to watch like the ones that go straight down and just hit court, but they count for the same number of points.
And one Auburn needed, too. A lot of momentum was on the side of Alabama after that great defensive play the point before. Edson sets. Shear goes cross court. Bertucci's been phenomenal already tonight. Shear spins it off the block.
Great swing by Shear, but really looked like a defensive miscommunication. On the Tide side of the net, there was not much of a block in front of her. Kyla Dunaway, being the right side blocker for Alabama on that point, just lost track of where Shear was.
Kaylee Edson, the freshman, with an ace, tied at 10.
That was a tough float serve, but that landed pretty far in the court. That's not one you want to see land. And it looks like AG just thought that ball was going to go out.
Well, she follows the ace with a service error, but that is one of the most lethal servers in the SEC. Edson's 23rd ace of the season, top 10 in the conference.
She's got such a tough float serve, meaning it doesn't have much spin on it. You can't predict when it's going to seemingly drop out of the air, kind of similar to the knuckleball if we're using baseball terms.
Shear this time on the right side. Rapetti sets Thompson, too strong. And going back to that serve, sometimes those jump floats, even though they're not hit as hard, are sometimes tougher to handle.
Absolutely. I've always said that the toughest topspin serve is more difficult to pass than the toughest float serve, but the average float serve is much tougher to pass than the average topspin. It just can drop out of nowhere. It's hard to track.
Keyshot back set. Towns off the slide, rolls it off the block.
Great job by Towns, and I think a great decision by setter Kayla Keyshot for the Tide to look for her middle on that play after Thompson, who was on the outside, now is rotated to the back row, had gotten a lot of looks, a lot of sets in the last few rallies. Great job by Towns.
Tight to the net on the set. Dreves is up in the back row by Thompson.
2.
Cross court swing, too far. Point Alabama.
Great swing, very sharp cross, landed just out of bounds. But I think it was the right decision. I think she was aiming for the right part of the court. There are some different matches throughout the season that Alabama has struggled to defend the right sideline of the court.
Edson with a back set. Thompson scoops it up. Rapetti chases it over towards the Alabama bench, and a free ball back to the Tigers. AG, too strong. 3 straight attack errors. Auburn pulls within 1.
Those are some of the toughest sets to hit when the ball goes that high in the air. The whole defense has time to set up. But that's something that AG's going to want to level out.
Overpass is dumped home by Zimmerman.
That's a second overpass from the Tide that's been led to a point for the Tigers. Alabama's got to get that pass somewhere their setter can get their hands on it.
Dreves off the block, point Auburn.
We're seeing it again, Noah. Auburn's offense is just so quick right now that Alabama's block is not getting there. It's going up super, super late. So we're seeing great swings from Auburn, but more importantly, we're seeing swings without much of a block in front of them.
It's also what a good serve can do, because Alabama's been out of system this whole service run. Zimmerman down the line. Bertucci swipes it up. Here's Dreves looking cross court to Bertucci again. Wow. And Alabama wins the point with Jordan Towns.
Crazy defense on both sides of the net. Francesca Bertucci just has played phenomenal this match. She's someone that Coach Reed has talked about how she's just progressed throughout the season, really in confidence, in leadership, and in dependability. She comes in and day out and puts up great numbers defensively, captaining the back row.
She has 6 digs already in this first set. Service error gives the point back to Auburn. And we've got a great first set here from Foster Auditorium in Tuscaloosa. Rivalry night in the SEC. Top 25 Auburn up 1 on the road. Competitive first meeting between these two on the Plains went the way of Auburn in 4 sets. And Lane, I know the thing that you're going to point out at the very bottom, the 11 Auburn blocks. The defense was phenomenal.
Really what goes on at the net tonight, I think, is going to be a huge part of the storyline. The 2 areas I'm looking are what goes on when it comes to blocking, what goes on when it comes to serving. Auburn dominated last matchup from a blocking standpoint with those 11 blocks to Alabama's 6 blocks. On top of that, Auburn made way fewer blocking errors with only 3 blocking errors. Alabama with 7 blocking errors. We've already seen Alabama make an error or 2 up at the net. They were in the net early on. That's a blocking error. They've got to limit those blocking errors, increase those blocks, the way that Auburn has really just been so dominant up there, giving their opponents no room, and specifically Alabama in their last matchup, no room to swing.
This is the #1 blocking defense in the SEC for Auburn. Almost 3 blocks a set, top 10 in the country. So they've been good all year. Agee goes off speed, chased down by Lanham. It's an Alabama point out of the timeout on the lift, tied at 15.
That was a tough ball to try to figure out something to do with, and Peyton Dunn did her best getting a hand on it, but it seems the official has decided that she pulled that ball from too far behind her head. That's how they really decide what's a lift and what's not, how long it stays in the player's hand, and also where do they first make contact with it and where do they finish with it. If the ball's in front of them the whole time, that's one thing. If it goes from behind the head to in front, that's another. It's probably going to be called a lift.
Back set off the slide. Bella Bell can't be scooped up by Kiefer. Point Auburn.
Great swing by Bella Bell, and I think that's something that we're going to continue to see out of Auburn. Swinging to that right sideline has worked a few times. If they're looking at what is working tonight, they should keep swinging there. You see Bella Bell with that slide footwork, making great contact with the ball.
Grad transfer from Kentucky, Bella Bell, where she won a national championship in the spring season right after COVID. Coach Crouch was telling us that Bell isn't always vocal, but when she says something, everybody on the team is quiet and listens to her because she has that championship experience.
Absolutely, you're always going to respect that title.
Dunn sets to the far side with Shear. She has the kill. Auburn's back in front 1.
That's another play, a great swing by Shear, seeing that there was a hole in the block. Alabama's block has to find a way to keep up with the speed of Auburn's block, the offense right now. They're just not getting out there.
Thompson well off the net, finds some space in the middle of the defense.
That was a huge point for Alabama, especially considering Thompson made that swing, got that kill off of a really out-of-system pass. You see Bertucci just had to fly it out there to her from the back row. Alabama needs to get the ball on their setter's head, in their hands, from the serve receive.
Shear sends it long, point Alabama, and also far off the net, too. She was at the 10-foot line when she got that last kill.
That's right. It's so hard to track the ball when it's coming from that distance and with that height, the amount of height you have to put on it if it's coming from that far away.
Timeout taken as Alabama holds a 1-point lead late in set one. Paris Thompson with a team-high 3 kills in this first set for Alabama.
She's doing a great job of making smart swings. When she has the availability, she's pulling out that heavy arm swing and forcing the defense to be very successful tonight, and was so successful during the last Alabama-Auburn matchup.
Missed all but 6 matches last year due to injury in her final season at Notre Dame, but the numbers that you just saw, she is outperforming already this year in significantly fewer matches than what she had in her best season at Notre Dame. And I got to think it was probably an emphasis to get her going early tonight, Tulane, because she's coming off her season low, 5 kills against Arkansas. That's somebody that if you're going to win a match, especially against a really good Auburn team, she's got to be really good.
Absolutely. She's got to be on. She's got to be what they call a hot hand, someone who's really winning, especially because you know every player for Auburn is thinking about her, is thinking about what is she about to do, how is she about to come in and create a problem for us.
It was great in the first meeting, had a season-high 16 kills at Auburn 2.5 weeks ago. Rotation error against Auburn right out of the timeout, and Alabama's up 2.
That is not a call you see often at this level. What it typically means is that the setter released to her position waiting to set the ball too early, meaning before the server's hand made contact with the ball. It's something those setters have to stay disciplined on. They have to wait to release to their base position where they wait for the pass.
Bertucci with a great sliding dig. She plays it again on the overpass. Dunaway far pins, sails it too far. She did not get a touch. Now it's overturned and said yes. Point Alabama.
That was a phenomenal rally, and I know we talked about Francesca Bertucci in the open, but wow, has she had an incredible match tonight. Great defense and doing a great job of covering her hitters. She's got 7 digs already this set.
Back set to Bell. Nobody's getting to that one. Brent Crouch in his 5th season as the head coach of Auburn has taken them to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, which had never happened in Auburn history before these last 2 years. He has taken this program to new heights.
Graham, who was at the bottom of the SEC not long ago, just upside down.
Great chase down from Bertucci. Free ball back to Auburn, but the Tigers have a chance in system. Kiefer sets in the middle. It's Jordan Towns.
That is a huge momentum point for Alabama. Gonna lead to the timeout call from Auburn. But gosh, just look at the effort that we see at Jordan Towns getting up for her setter in rally. That was a great point. That point didn't start out the way Alabama wanted to. They're having to come back from a little bit of a weak passing match so far. They're not in system out of serve receive very often, but they're finding ways to score points, and they definitely have the momentum right now in this first set.
It's something you got to do at times, right? You're not always going to be in system. How do you handle out of system play? And tonight, Alabama's been as flawless as you can be out of system. Not that you want to be out of system very much, but still.
Of course not. But when you are out of system, finding ways to score is so important. And I think one of the biggest things that need to be looked at or credited to that is how smart the Alabama hitters are being. When they're committing their errors, it is an aggressive error. They're trying to make the right move off of a good set. They're not going up trying to make a heavy swing off of a set that isn't there. It's almost like in baseball how they'll encourage a hitter to take a pitch if it's not their pitch. You know what I mean? Sometimes as a hitter, you just got to take a set, meaning just get it over, keep it in play if it's not your set right now. That is something that was such a problem for them in the last matchup, that they actually had a pretty good hitting percentage when they last played, but the Auburn block was just such a problem.
11 blocks in the first meeting, none so far tonight for Auburn in this first set. And this is what Rashinda Reed talked about. If she said it once to us yesterday, she said it 4 or 5 times. We have to be better finishing sets, finishing matches. They have an opportunity to finish off set 1 right now.
That's right. Natalie Rapetti, actually a birthday girl out here tonight at the service line.
Can't quite find the line. It's a service error. There is Rashinda Reed, year 3 as the head coach of Alabama. Just a 1-4 start in SEC play right now, but got a chance to take down their rival and a top 25 team in the country tonight. Keyshock, back set, Towns off the slide, goes down the line.
Such a smart decision by Keyshock to look to Towns again, who just had that huge swing. Towns hitting over 600. She's hitting 666 tonight.
Wow.
4 kills on 6 total attempts. Auburn's going to have to find an answer for that.
AG turned away. There's the first block of the night for Auburn.
That is exactly what Auburn needed to stay not just in this set, but in this match. They're going to have to keep doing that. That was a beautiful block by Auburn. You look at how high they get over the net, how close those blockers are together. There's no hole in there for AG to swing through. That was a beautiful block.
That was Emma Moore, the freshman, who is top 5 in the SEC in blocks per set this season. Brett Crouch was saying she's been a really big surprise. The defense, the blocking has come around so much quicker in her first season of college volleyball than he thought it would at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. One of the biggest adjustments for blockers in Division I or all college level volleyball is the speed of the game and how quick the offense is, especially for SEC play. The offense just gets quicker and quicker every year. And like you mentioned, she is 4th in the SEC, averaging 1.34 blocks per set. That is a really crazy statistic to think about. She got her one just now, was a part of her one right there. She does a great job of closing to the outside, which speaks to how disciplined she is in waiting to see where the set is going. She doesn't guess, and she moves quickly to where she needs to be.
Missed almost a month. Played for the first time Sunday against Mississippi State for the first time since September 20th when they played UAB. So it was the first time she played in conference play. And it's an already really good Auburn team, but when you add her back into the fold, they become even that much better.
Absolutely. I think the conversation right now in this timeout for Alabama is get a pass. That's something they've struggled to do so far in this match. Get a good pass so that Keyshock can run her offense not out of system where AG doesn't have many good options on where to swing, but a good pass so that the Auburn defense has to think about maybe Keyshock's going to go back to Towns, who's been so successful tonight.
Bella Humphrey with the ace out of the timeout. Another one of those true freshmen for Auburn who have come in immediately and made an impact.
That was a great float serve, tough to defend, and in a moment where, like I said, Alabama needs a pass that much more now at this point.
Towns from the middle, she's rejected. No blocks for almost the entire first set, and now 2 of the last 3 points have been scored by Alabama's front line blocking.
Yeah, I've got to say to that one, Alabama has to expect that the Auburn block was going to figure it out at some point and do a better job of doing what's called covering their hitters, being ready to pass that ball.
Thompson jumps out of the way of the serve that goes long. Alabama back in front by 1.
I know that's a frustrating time for Auburn to miss a serve. I talk a lot about when to be aggressive with the serve, and when you're kind of at the last few point stretch of the match, especially when the score is this close, that is not a time you miss the serve.
Draves way off the net, but takes some speed off and finds the center of the defense.
That point right there, I think, is just an example of how much the Alabama defense relies on the defense of Francesca Bertucci, who definitely would have gotten that ball in if she was on the court. But that was the half a rotation where she has to come out so that one of the middles can serve the ball.
Rashinda Reed takes her second and final timeout of this opening set. Tied at 23.
You can definitely feel the momentum of the game is in the air right now. I wouldn't say it's purely Auburn or purely Alabama. It's kind of up for grabs. It is obviously a close match right now on the scoreboard, but also in a lot of these percentages.
15 digs for Alabama have come from Francesca Bertucci, the libero. And even though it's only 2 blocks in the set for Auburn, a team that averages about 3 a set, both of those have come in the last, 5 or 6 points. It's kind of become a big theme late in the set.
Absolutely. And like you said, so many digs from Francesca Bertucci. That has to be a conversation in the Auburn huddle right now. They can see these live stats just like we can, and I'm sure that Coach Crouch is telling their hitters, quit hitting.
Stay away.
To the left whole half of the Alabama court. Keep it away from Francesca Bertucci because she is going to get it up.
Transfer from Northern Illinois, where she led the MAC and was second in the nation a couple of years ago at almost 6 digs per set, an almost unheard of number. Had a relatively quiet first season for Alabama, but she's been phenomenal this year as the libero. Free ball back to Auburn. Edson sets the slide. Roll shot picked up by Agee, who now gets a swing and tools the block. Set point, Alabama.
What an athletic play out of Agee to come down off that block and keep the ball up. That's such a tough thing to do, and then get ready for the swing. You see she's coming down off the block, pops it in the air. Great job by Agee, and a smart decision there to go for the off-speed shot off the block.
Overpass, dropped home by Agee, and Alabama takes set 1. Finish was the theme for Rashinda Reed, and Alabama does just that in set 1, taking the set against their rival Auburn. 1-0 Alabama as we go to set 2. Set against Auburn, and you can probably pretty clearly tell which one that was. Set 2, they hit 375 negative for Auburn, but then it was Auburn that bounced back over the last 2 sets to finish off the match.
Yeah, if you look at
hitting percentage against the number 1 opposing hitting percentage in the SEC, Auburn holding opponents to just 166 on the season. So nearly 100 points better for. This is Agee looking cross court, dug up in the back row. Agee once more, this time too strong, point Auburn.
There's 2 out-of-system swings. Agee obviously trying to do something different with each one. That time swung a little long. A little bit of an out-of-system point for both teams on both sides of the net.
Agee goes off speed, played by Dunn. Here's Bell on the far. Penn tools the block of Campbell.
That's a tough moment right there. You know Alabama wanted that block. They had plenty of time to set up. A little bit of a lack of discipline in not doing what's called sealing the net out of Chase Campbell, meaning you don't just put your arms straight up, but you try to close them down to the net, so if the ball hits your hands, it definitely lands on the opponent's side.
Agee set back. Campbell out of the middle. Upped by Kiefer. Agee sent back.
I don't like that swing from Agee. She knew that there was going to be a big Auburn block. That was an out-of-system play. The set was super high in the air, and I think what she was trying to do is a little bit of just a bully ball swing, trying to just hit it so hard that it somehow gets through the blocker's hands, and clearly that's not what happened. Great block for Auburn.
Now the 3rd block of the night for Auburn. Overpass played by Agee. Bertucci sets, Dunaway goes cross court to Dunn, and then too far off the hand of Dunaway. Auburn has opened up set 2, 4-0.
We're not seeing confidence out of the Tide right now. That's several errors in a row, and what I think we are seeing out of Auburn is they're coming into this set expecting to win it. They're not happy with how the first set went, and they want to win this set.
Agee wide right. Make it 5 unanswered for Auburn to open the second set.
It's a lot more errors than I expected to see this early on from the Tide after the momentum they should have had coming out of that first set.
Kiefer dumps, pushed right back. Now the back set to Dunaway. Shear pummels it, but right to Bertucci. Campbell from the middle, point Alabama.
Great swing by Campbell. Great job by Callie Kiefer finding Campbell in the middle of a rally. But can we talk about the dig out of Francesca Bertucci that made it possible? Just staying solo. That ball comes so fast, and she puts it perfectly on target for Kiefer to run her offense.
It's already her 9th dig of the night. We've barely played more than one set. Bell finds a seam in the block.
Bell again getting that ball just somehow through the Tide block. That was a great swing. I think a smart decision by DaCosta to find her out of system. Giving Auburn the 6-1 lead, definitely holding the momentum right now.
Team high 6th kill now for Bella Bell. Shear with a nice adjustment with the left hand. Kiefer sets Campbell from the middle again. After just one kill the entire first set, Campbell's got 2 early ones for Alabama here in the second.
I think every time the setter can for Alabama, whether it's Keyshock or Kiefer, they have got to keep finding their middles in rally.
Right down the line, that ball was crushed by Belle Zimmerman.
Belle Zimmerman doing exactly what she does. That offense, so quick, that ball got out to her hand. I mean, it felt like in half a second, in a beautiful down the line swing, because she knew that Alabama block didn't have time to get all the way out there, protect that part of their court.
Thompson cross court, great dig by DaCosta. Bertucci the bump set. Thompson again, this time goes off speed. Zimmerman's got back-to-back. Showing off her arsenal. Hits it hard the point before. This time takes something off for the kill.
I think that was a smart shot by Zimmerman. The Alabama block was waiting for a heavy swing. Great idea to go for that donut in the middle of the court with a tip.
Zimmerman and Auburn off to a great start here in set 2 after losing the first. It's all Tigers, 8-2 here from Tuscaloosa. Four names you see there, all of them, Lane, have at least 3 kills already tonight.
Madison Shear leading that effort with 6 kills already tonight. Auburn's really figured it out off
this second set. You kind of alluded to it early in this second set. They're mad after losing the first.
Absolutely. There's teams that play joyful and happy. They look upset. They look a little angry. Fired up, ready to go. This is their revenge set right now.
Down 1-0 on the road against their rival after Alabama was able to finish set 1 25-23. Serve goes long from Lanham. Point Alabama out of the timeout.
Anytime there's a missed serve right after an opposing team's timeout call, I always say, it's a coach's point. Congrats, Coach Rashinda Reed, for that point right there. Icing the server a little bit.
Draves picked up in the back. Thompson on the pin, pops it off the block. Zimmerman turned away. It's Thompson and Towns combining for Alabama.
Great job by Towns getting all the way out to close that block. That wasn't the quickest block. It looked like Auburn just was not expecting Zimmerman to get blocked right there. They were already thinking about moving to their defensive read positions.
A good response out of the timeout from Bama, who is down 8-2. They've scored a couple in a row. Right back to Zimmerman, and they're not blocking that one.
Great job by Zimmerman responding there with a hard swing. She saw the block in front of her and swung right around it. You see that ball really goes right between the left hand of Thompson and that outside pin. Beautiful swing.
Coming off a 16-kill performance on Sunday from Zimmerman, which was her season high. That's Thompson who goes cross-court and finds the line for the kill.
Thompson getting back involved. That's her 4th kill tonight. She's getting a lot of the looks for the Tide. That's her 4th kill on, I believe, 12 attempts.
Edson sets Zimmerman, upped by Thompson in the back row. Agee from the pin. That's a kill for Alabama's Sophie Agee.
Great swing by Agee. If you looked at how she was making contact with the ball, she looked a little off balance, but put so much topspin that she still got that ball hard across. It was almost like she was leaning back as she was making contact with it. Very athletic.
Team high 5 kills now for Agee on the night. Down the line, there's the response from the freshman Lauren Dreves.
We've seen a couple of successful down the line swings from the Tigers. I'm expecting that's something they'll continue to do. Those down the line swings are so hard to defend because you think about it, that is the quickest line you can draw from point of contact to where the ball lands. Cross court, you're given 30, 40 feet of room to track the ball. If you go from point of contact to where it can land down the line, that's sometimes just 10, 15 feet of tracking the ball.
What's an attacker reading defensively when they decide to go cross court or down the line?
That's a great question. There are a few things. Where the opponent's best defenders are on the other side of the net, but more important, where's the block? Is the block covering the line part of meaning blocking line, meaning so that they can't hit down the line, or is the block taking away their cross court shot? And having to swing around that is a huge part of this game.
Peyton Dunn follows the ace with the service error going into the net, pulls Alabama back within 4.
It looks like Alabama hasn't given up. They're slowly crawling back into this match after at one point being down 8-2.
Jordan Towns gives the serve right back, though, on the air. Alabama's 4th tonight.
Alabama's 4th and the 11th on the match. That's a huge number. Not something either coach is excited about, I can promise you that. But those are numbers, I mean, 7 service errors for Auburn, 4 for Alabama. Those are numbers that my teammates and I would have had to be running for at 12 years old.
DaCosta the dig, back set. Here's Bell looking cross court, and she finds the line. That was a great swing.
Wow, beautiful and athletic swing by Bell. It's hard to even describe how difficult what she just did is. She was facing the opposite direction, but turned her hand so that her thumb was up by the time she finished contacting the ball to paint that sideline.
Shear goes lob. Campbell from the middle. DaCosta chases it down. Keyshak sets. Campbell from the middle, tools the block. Her 3rd kill of the set.
Great swing by Campbell, and I think it was smart that earlier in that rally she went for the tip, waited to get her set. Kind of like I talked about earlier, that was a great swing to the right back corner of the Auburn defense.
Callie Kiefer in the net. Auburn's lead is back to 6. That match is the largest of this 2nd set.
I don't know how many different ways I can say that there's nothing worse than a volleyball match with a ton of missed serves when it comes to where the momentum's going to go.
We've seen 12 of them already, about a set and a half in. Miscommunication. Campbell wasn't there in the middle. Point Auburn.
Yeah, that looked like setter Callie Kiefer just didn't know what hit Campbell was running. There's all these different attacks that hitters will run, almost like routes for a wide receiver. You got to know where your hitter's going.
Dunn sets to the outside with Shear, who pops it off the block, and nobody's there on the back end for Alabama.
Auburn with the 8-point lead now, doing what they do best. They're keeping Alabama out of system. They're making smart swings, and more importantly, they're causing a lot of defensive problems. Alabama's offense is just not performing the way it was in that first set.
Friday night, we've got 4 SEC women's volleyball matches. In the featured one, number 23, Florida takes on Texas A&M at Reed Arena in College Station. Gators have beaten the Aggies 11 of the last 12 matchups dating back to 2016, but notably Texas this year, the top team in the RPI, 7th. Auburn, though, right behind them at 12th, and this is an Auburn team. Brent Crouch alluded to it with us yesterday, believes his team has the ability to host a first-round NCAA tournament this year.
That's right. That's definitely the goal. That's definitely something that they're so top 25 in both of those areas. Alabama, you can't see on this graphic, but they're right now nationally 111th in RPI. So definitely going to need to get some more wins on the board against some of their tougher opponents. Auburn would be a great win. They've got Kentucky coming up this Sunday. 2 wins this week could do a lot of good for that RPI number for the Tide.
Yeah, 2 top 25 matchups this week for Alabama. You got 25th Auburn tonight, 15th ranked Kentucky on Sunday. That's a great adjustment in air by Chase Campbell.
It looks like Chase jumped and didn't even know which hand she was going to use to make contact with the ball. That set was a little bit high, but look how athletic she gets up there and just waits, lets it pass her right hand, her dominant hand, and tips it over with the left. That was beautiful.
Right hand and then in air finishing with the left hand.
That's right.
Impressive stuff from Chase Campbell. Dunaway rejected, but it's out. Point Alabama.
Great swing by Dunaway off the block. Beautiful tool. Again, not as fun for a hitter as that kill that goes straight down, but a kill is a kill, a point is a point. I know she's pleased with that.
2 in a row out of the timeout by Alabama. They've played really well out of timeouts. Kiefer back set. Here's Dunaway going cross court. Shear gets a good look out of system and goes down the line for the kill.
Very impressive swing for Shear. Those balls are so tough to hit. You have to be patient. You see how high in the air that set was. She waits, makes a quick approach and looks down the line. I think that was a super smart shot.
5 kills on the night for Madison Shear. Team's leading attacker at more than 3.5%, but the serve right after goes long.
That's the 8th service error for Auburn on this match. You see 5 for Alabama. It's hard to build and keep momentum when you go back to the service line and miss a serve.
Still have a 6-point lead in this second set despite that. Shear blocked back, but poked over by the freshman Emma Moore.
That was a good touch by the Alabama block. I think Jordan Towns should have adjusted, though, tried to get over in front of Emma Moore so she couldn't put that ball down so easily. Auburn comfortably in the lead, 7 points ahead right now. I think you got to get this serve in.
They do, and it was a good one. An overpass sends it back to Auburn in system. Zimmerman too strong.
Great swing by Zimmerman. That's not the attack error that a coach gets upset at. Zimmerman was being aggressive, going for the smart shot. Auburn's had so much success swinging to the right sideline so far tonight. I know no attacker likes missing, but that's not one that a coach is upset with, even if Zimmerman is.
Back set. Zimmerman plants it in the back row. Didn't miss that one.
That's exactly how, as not just a player or a teammate or a coach, all of you, you want to respond to an error exactly like that. It was a great job by Zimmerman, adjusting, swinging to a new area of the court. So powerful.
Coach Crouch was telling us yesterday that nobody takes coaching better than Zimmerman. She wants to be coached hard, and he said, I can really get on her. Cross court, played by Bertucci. Thompson spins it off the block. Auburn sends a free ball over. Key shot goes middle to Towns. Dreves. Back set, Towns, slide, squeezes it between the back row.
Such an incredible rally, great volleyball on both sides of the net, but Bertucci, great job getting under that ball. I mean, and beautiful swing by Towns to end the point. As a coach, Rashinda Reed has out of her team. It really looks like right now Alabama has all the pieces. They've got the talent, they've got the abilities. It's just about stringing it all together and stringing it all together consistently for them.
That is the 12th dig tonight for Bertucci.
She has been all over the floor defensively for Alabama.
Serve slides out to the right, point Auburn.
Definitely.
Sounding like broken records, but there's so many missed serves on both sides tonight.
You know, I had a coach one year who would tell our team there's nothing that builds momentum better than an ace, but there's nothing that kills momentum better than a missed serve. So when you go to the service line, you're trying to toe that line of being aggressive, go for the ace, but also get the ball in. If you want to build momentum like Alabama's desperate to do right now, you gotta serve that ball in.
There's an ace from Dunn.
Speaking of building momentum, no question who has the momentum right now, but that much more. Auburn is just rolling right now. That was a great serve out of Peyton Dunn.
They do have 8 service errors, but now 4 aces on the night. Very nearly a 5th. Dreves on the line, point Auburn.
Great swing by Dreves. Auburn's offense has been great tonight, but I think that has to be credited to how great they've done a job of keeping Alabama out of system, whether that's with aggressive serves or if that's with their offense making sure that they're attacking the setter so that she can't be the one who sets the ball.
Dunn's serve goes long. That is an error. Point Alabama to pull back with an 8.
Chase Campbell checks back in the game for the Tide. You know Keyshock's going to try to get her involved as quickly as possible with how successful she's been tonight, hitting .444, 5 kills off of 9 attempts.
And 4 of those 5 kills have come in this second set. Free ball from Dreves, Alabama in system. Keyshock pushes outside to AG, and she is denied.
You know, I understand that decision by Keyshock to go for AG with the tandem that the Tide was running there. You see, it's almost hard to tell for the defense who was going to get that ball coming out of the setter's hands, whether it was going to be Campbell or AG, but I think she should have gone to Campbell on that ball.
Serve goes long. Brent Crouch is beside himself. He just turned around and looked to his coaching staff like, what is happening? 10 service errors tonight for Auburn.
I mean, I wish I had something super interesting to say about that.
You've used it all already.
But that's bad. That's not good.
We've used all of our service error analysis on the first 15 of the night.
Absolutely.
Nothing left on the 16th. Shear was turned away once, but then she terminates after.
That's what Auburn's doing such a great job of so far this set, is they're responding really well. If they don't score on their first swing, if they don't score on their first effort, they're coming back and being aggressive. It's not like they're phased.
AG, too strong, no touch. Point Auburn, and the Tigers respond with a dominant second set. 25-15 the win for Auburn, and the Tigers 10-1 this season when they win the second set, trying to make that 11-1 as they've evened it up at a set apiece in Tuscaloosa. All-important set 3 coming up next. 0.6 kills per set, top marks on the team. Auburn begins set 3 with an ace from Lauren Dreves. The only 6 rotation player for Auburn, and she's doing it as a true freshman.
She's made such quick adjustments and just looks so mature out there. I wouldn't guess she was a freshman.
AG uses the hands. It's a kill on her first swing of the set.
AG looks very excited. Needed that swing for multiple reasons for her team, but also for her personal confidence. That's always exciting to get a kill under your belt in the beginning of the set.
And Mississippi rotates back to serve. Had the kill, almost had an ace to follow, but a free ball back to Alabama. Kiefer sets Campbell from the middle. Back set. Dunaway blocked back. Dunaway again. Shear plants it in the back row.
Great swing by Shear. That rally looked a little bit slow. Both teams waiting to be in system to go for a powerful swing. Shear saw that opportunity and did a great job of putting that ball away right in the hole of the Alabama block.
And Brent Crouch said she is our workhorse. We could set her every ball if we wanted to, and she would be just fine. Serve slides out to the right, though. Point Alabama on Auburn's 11th service error of the night. Chase Campbell nearly had her first ace of the season just now. Kiefer sets Towns in the middle. She's got the kill. Alabama takes the lead.
Great swing from Jordan Townsend. Great job by the Alabama offense, specifically setter Callie Kiefer, getting her middle involved, establishing that middle early. You always want to get your middle involved early in every set, so the other team's defense has to constantly be remembering, oh, this middle could be about to swing.
Shear turned away. Dunaway and Towns up front for the Alabama block.
Great job by Dunaway getting in front of that ball. That gives Alabama 3 blocks on the night, compared to Auburn's 4. Last time we saw that stat in their last matchup was so lopsided. Alabama definitely looking to see if they can match Auburn's energy from a blocking perspective.
11-6 in favor of Auburn in that first meeting a couple weeks ago. Cross-court swing, and it's squeezed between the back row defenders by Bella Bell.
Another great swing by Bella Bell. She's done that all night so far. Tough cross-court swing, finding the right back sideline. It's always a good idea to swing towards right back when the setter is in back row, because if you can force the setter to dig the ball, setter can't set.
There's an ace right in the corner.
We saw an ace right in a similar area in this same rotation from Alabama. This is the one rotation where Paris Thompson and Sophie Agee, the 2 outsides for the Tide, have to pass right next to each other. They don't have a defensive specialist to take the ball.
And it has him out of system again. Free ball back to Auburn. Edson tight to the net. Good adjustment by Moore. Back set. Zimmerman roll shot. Pancaked by Bertucci. Shear spins it off the block.
Shear has just seen so much success tonight. She's kind of the Sophie Agee of Auburn's offense in terms of she's had 28 total attempts. That's her 8th kill on the night. She doesn't always get the prettiest sets and the prettiest situations, but she does a great job with what she gets.
This time Edson goes long on the serve. The error ties Alabama and Auburn up at 5.
Auburn definitely wants to make Alabama earn their points, and these missed serves are the opposite of that.
Natalie Rapetti has an ace with a little bit of help from the tape.
Those are always, for the team that serves that ball, those are always the most exciting, because there is nothing Auburn can do there. There's no getting upset with any of Auburn's passers in that situation. That's a lucky ball.
Zimmerman off the deflection of the block.
That was a good touch by the Alabama block. You know, anytime the block is able to slow the hit down, the blockers are hoping their defenders get that 1 extra second to run the ball down That one landed just out of reach. It was a great swing by Zimmerman.
Another service error for Auburn.
I believe that's 4 of Alabama's 7 points this set are missed serves.
13 total in the match for the Tigers. Paris Thompson serving. Dreves down the line, slides out to the left, point Alabama. Tide's got a 2-point lead.
We talk about, as a team, wanting to force the other team to score points always. Right now, Auburn definitely not forcing Alabama to score points with all the service errors, hitting error.
Edson with a back set. Zimmerman spins it off the block.
Great swing by Zimmerman on the right side. That point right there, I think, is really credit to how quick Auburn's offense is. You saw Sophie Agee got to the right position, but couldn't finish pushing her hands back towards the middle of Auburn's defense.
You mentioned that a couple times tonight. When they are in system, they have so much pace as Agee tools the block.
That was a great swing by Agee. Was just tooled by Auburn the last point, this time tooling the Auburn block. That was a great response. She looks fired up this set. You can tell she was pretty upset by her performance in the second set. She's ready to go right now.
From the middle, what a swing from Chelsea McCurdy.
I know we've talked about McCurdy's blocking. She's ranked 6th in the SEC, averaging 1.28 blocks per set, but her offense as well. Look at how she just gets in the air and pushes that ball. She's got a fast, heavy arm swing.
Yeah, certainly don't talk about her offense before you talk about her defense, but what a weapon to have. Thompson pushes over, or Campbell rather, with the left hand. Dug up by Brown. Agee into the block, and it sends it out of play. Point Alabama.
Point for the Tide. It looked like a little bit of a questionable moment, but the official corrected himself. He accidentally originally signaled point Auburn, so I was confused for a moment that he saw something we didn't see, but that was a great swing from Agee. That's what's called a trap set. When the set is so tight in the net, there's nothing you can do to avoid the block. So you have a few choices. You either try to tip it off of the block or do what Agee just did and swing as hard as you can to the side and tool the block.
McCurdy from the middle.
Great swing by McCurdy again. That's her second kill in a row on attempts. And Alabama's block has to keep track of her, stay in front of her. You see, it looked like she just didn't have a hand in front of her. Both Campbell and Dunaway tried to take away a little bit of court, but weren't right in front of her swinging arm.
Kiefer gets Campbell involved. That's Madison Shear once again for Auburn.
Great swing by Shear, cross court. Something that happened earlier in the rally. Chase Campbell got a chance to swing, but Auburn has made an adjustment. They're now triple blocking Chase, which means all front row hitters are going up and blocking when she's attacking the ball.
It's a tough one for Kiefer to handle, tight to the net. Couldn't do anything with it. Point Auburn.
We talked about it in the second set. Alabama has to figure out their passing. Auburn is serving tough, but they've got to find a way to get a good pass for their setters.
Back row swing for Dreves, and she splits the back row.
Alabama has several points in a row now, looked just unaware of what was coming from Auburn's offense. And you see there was really not a block up against Dreves right there.
Agee on the near pin, cross court. Shear ducks out of the way, and it's long. Point Auburn.
Auburn finally creating a tiny bit of space between them and Alabama with a 3-point lead. And Lily Hopkins will check in the back row for the Tide, a new defensive specialist coming in, just trying to get a pass.
Played Sunday for the first time in SEC play, so now she's playing in back-to-back matches. McCurdy goes a roll shot, and it drops down. She's got 3 kills in this set alone.
If I'm Auburn right now, I'm noticing that anytime Alabama's defense has to make a move, they are not getting there. Meaning, if it's not hit hard directly at them, if it's a roll shot, they're not running through it. They're just falling at it. I would continue to do off-speed shots if I were Auburn.
Campbell has the response here for Alabama to end a 6-0 run.
Such a smart decision by Kiefer. She was pulled a little bit off the net on that pass, so I don't think Auburn expected her to try to find Campbell on that ball, but she does. So Campbell that time only had 1 block up against her and a block that was coming a little bit late. That was a beautiful swing.
Shear picked up by Campbell. Kiefer sends outside to Thompson. What a dig from DaCosta. Free ball. Alabama in system. Kiefer back set. Dunaway down the line. DaCosta again. DaCosta lunges for her 3rd dig of this rally. Bertucci scoops it up. Back row, Agee. DaCosta with 1 arm. Shear rejected. Tight to the net. Kiefer can't play it out. Auburn scores the point.
Huge rally and great defense on both sides of the net. DaCosta all over the court for the Auburn Tigers.
3 digs on that rally alone for Alexis DaCosta. The defense wins the point for Auburn, up 15-11 in set 3.
But Auburn found it. So Auburn has the momentum right now, but it's definitely still up for grabs this set undecided.
It's a really nice set for Kiefer. Tight to the net, and Dunaway terminates.
That's a great way to come out of a break. Exactly what the Tide needed to do. Kyla Dunaway making herself available to Kiefer. Kiefer doing what's called going against the flow. The pass was in front of her. She had to run forward, but you watch, she gets there and she sets back all the way to the opposite pin. That was a great athletic move by setter Callie Kiefer for the Tide.
Chase Campbell, who doesn't always serve. Great roll shot from Shear. She's the first in the match to double digits with 10 kills.
I mentioned it earlier, but if I was Auburn, I would keep noticing how slow Alabama is to react to off-speed shots. Right there, that ball should have been run through by Kiefer, but it looked like she was on her heels expecting the heavy swing.
14th time in 17 matches this year, Shear has had at least 10 kills. Kiefer sets with 1 hand. Towns pokes it over. Bertucci sets. Dunaway tools the block.
Dunaway again with the kill, that time off the block. She did a great job out of that break, getting a couple points up for the Tide, keeping them in this set.
Zimmerman cross court. Bertucci snags it. And the points won by Alabama. It's Paris Thompson with the kill.
I mean, Zimmerman with the heavy cross-court swing, but Francesca Bertucci keeps it alive. It looks like Paris Thompson was just looking out for her back row defender, like, they're going to swing at you like that. I'm swinging right back. That was a great kill for Paris Thompson.
16th dig for Bertucci sets up the point for Thompson. Roll shot into the block. Rapetti sets up Thompson. Rolls it off the block, but a great effort defensively from Auburn. Towns from the middle, sent away. Thompson into the block. She spins it off for a point.
You see Thompson landing from that swing with a smile on her face. That was another trap set. There wasn't much Thompson could do with it. It was a little bit tight. She was falling backwards a little and got the tool. Alabama back within 1.
Overpass. Keyshock dumps it down for the point. Tied at 16.
I love that move by setter Kayla Keshak. That was her first time going for the setter dump tonight. Setter dump just meaning that instead of opting to look for one of her hitters, she throws the ball over herself. What that does is it creates a moment of hesitation for the blockers on the other side of the court and the back row players on the other side of the court. They're not going to go to their defensive read positions quite as early and be as ready for the hitters if they think there's a chance the setter might dump.
Auburn takes the timeout after Alabama's gone on a little bit of a run to tie it up at 16 apiece.
You know, out of that last break, what Alabama's done such a good job of is they're making heavy swings. They don't look timid like they did a little bit in that second set. They're just crawling their way back in, and they're really doing a good job of passing and defending and keeping their offense in system with great back row defense.
A 5-1 run for Alabama since that last timeout has it tied up at 16.
Hitting being such a critical part of this game. Right now, Alabama's getting their hitting percentage to go back up after a rough first set, or second set, excuse me. They're on the match hitting 189, but in this set, hitting 320. You see that they've had a little bit of a trend of a high second set hitting percentage. That's the opposite of what's happened tonight. They were high first.
Repetti's serve sails out to the right. Auburn reclaims the lead.
I mentioned it earlier, but anytime a player misses a point out of a timeout called by the opponent's coach, I say that's a coach's point. I believe Coach Reed and Coach Crouch have a point now.
I was going to say, I think we're 1-1 now.
For icing the server.
Keshak looks to Thompson, cross court, DaCosta picks it up. Zimmerman rolls it off the block.
Zimmerman got the kill, but DaCosta got the point. That was a beautiful dig after a really heavy swing from Thompson, but great job by Zimmerman putting the exclamation point on that point.
How phenomenal have both liberos been tonight?
I mean, so impressive. They've been all over the court for their teams.
Draves tried to go down the line, but she pushed it far to the left. Point Alabama.
You know, when a player is looking to swing to a certain area of the court, they can get it there by turning their hand as they hit or by turning their body. It looked like Dreves did both and missed a little wide. She was going for the line shot and missed a few feet out, almost hit us.
Back set, Zimmerman goes a roll shot. Bertucci couldn't quite get there on the dive.
I'm gonna keep pointing it out, but that's another off-speed shot for Auburn that's landed. I would keep doing that. Alabama's doing a great job of getting up the heavy swings, but these off-speed shots that tip by Zimmerman, Alabama just couldn't get there.
Tight to the net for Towns. Alabama's in the net.
Net violation is called on Jordan Towns. And it looks like Coach Reed's gonna grab the challenge card saying that the Auburn block didn't give Towns a chance to swing. So that's an important rule in the game. You know, these players are so tall, so athletic, they can jump so high that they could actually reach up and grab the ball out of the air before the opponent's hitter could even hit the ball. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what happened. The challenge card got put back. That might be just an area Coach Reed can't challenge.
Attack is wide right. Auburn's rolling off a few points in a row, and Rashinda Reed wants to take a timeout, down 4.
Right now, these last couple of points, Alabama's offense just looks out of sync. We saw with Jordan Towns, just couldn't connect with Keshak. That time, AG was coming down from her jump. When you want to make contact with the ball at the peak of your jump, but she's coming down as she's contacting the ball. That's why it sailed off.
AG and Thompson having a word.
These rivalry matches, you see a lot of that up and down. They can be so emotional that it's easy for them to kind of ebb and flow with how momentum's going. It's that much more tense, that much more up in the air. You see hitting percentage by set. Auburn just building. Alabama having to make a comeback after that low second set, hitting .020.
Done. First 2 sets, very defensive-minded. This third set, not at all. It's been all offense.
Not at all. I would say 2 things. Alabama's block has to find a way to put the ball down a couple times for the Tide. And then the back row has to recognize that these Auburn players can go for the off-speed shot and not be so glued on their heels that they can't make a run for the ball if Auburn chooses to go for the tip or the roll shot.
Bella Humphrey's been on a great service run right now for Auburn, this second libero. Towns off the slide, squeezes it through the block.
Towns is hype after that swing. That was her 7th kill tonight. She went for a slide approach, meaning she went behind the setter, Kayla Keyshock, jumped off of one leg. If you watch her footwork, it's actually, if you want a sport parallel, it's like the layup footwork in basketball.
Back set, Zimmerman into the center of the defense. Her 10th kill. That's the 11th time this season she's reached double figures.
Once again, it's the off-speed shot that lands. Auburn, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I would, if I was on the Tigers bench, I'd say keep tipping, keep roll shotting until the Tide back row finds a way to pick it up.
Agee spins it off the block. She is so good about using high hands.
Absolutely, she jumps really high, which gives her the opportunity to do that. I think that was the perfect moment to pull that out when the set was a little tight to the net, but still was right where she wants it when it comes to the height range.
Auburn out of system. Dunn has to chase it down, and a free ball over from DaCosta. Campbell from the middle plants it on the line.
Smart decision by Keyshock, and no surprise, she looks to Case Campbell in a moment. They need a point. It's 20-22. They're in that 20s range. Chase Campbell, of course, finds open court for the Tide.
Dunn back set. Here's a slide for Bell. Draves rolls it off the block.
That right there, again, Kylie Dunaway's a big block, but she was so late on that ball because of how quick Auburn's offense is. The time it takes for the ball to get out of the setter's hand to the hitter's hand decreases every year on average in Division I volleyball, and Auburn's really figured it out. They've got that offense so quick. Both Kaylee Edson and Peyton Dunn do a great job getting the ball to their hitters.
Alabama takes its final time out of the set, down 23-20.
And really, one of the strengths of Auburn right now, they don't have one answer offensively. They've got so many. Bell, Zimmerman, Shear, all have put up great numbers. Zimmerman and Shear with 10. Very balanced offense for the Tigers. You see right now, those 4 players, Dreves, Bell, Zimmerman, Shear, have 36 of the team's 43 to get comfortable just thinking about one hitter for Auburn. They've got to be thinking about all of them, including Dreves at the service line, who can hit out of the back row in this rotation.
The overpass, Bertucci lunges after it and then sends the free ball over. Dunn back set. Here's Bell going cross court, and she slips it between the 2 back row defenders.
Great job by Bella Bell. Gets her 10th kill to join Shear and Zimmerman with 10 kills tonight. She's hitting .391.
Campbell, good adjustment and great awareness to find that front corner.
If you watch right there, Auburn had 3 blockers up against her. That shows how much they respect Campbell's offensive production. Campbell saw that out of her peripheral vision and went for the tip. That tip is almost impossible to defend.
The serve is right in the corner for the ace.
I'm going to be honest, Noah, when I saw the Auburn player duck out of the way thinking it was going out of bounds, I was about to figure out how on the earth I could say, you don't miss a serve when the other team has set point, but instead, the ace for Sophie Agee.
Bell down the line. That's the winner for Auburn. Auburn has won back-to-back sets after dropping the first, and the Tigers going to set 4 have a chance to sweep the season series over Alabama.
My name is Ali Khan, and I'm a professional cricket player. Driving my dream car has always been a lifelong goal for me.
Those swings, and she delivers typically. Set 4 off and running here from Foster Auditorium. Callie Kiefer serving for Bama, and it's a free ball sent over to the Tide. Kiefer to Campbell in the middle, point Alabama to begin the 4th.
In Alabama's dream world, that point right there is how every point goes. A tough serve from Callie Kiefer to keep Auburn out of system so they can't have that productive offense, and a swing from Chase Campbell. That was beautiful for the Tide.
Her production has really picked up over the last couple sets. She was really quiet in the first. Back set, here's Bell using the hands for her 12th kill of the night.
Great swing by Bell, doing exactly what she does, going up and swinging really, really heavy, that time off the hands of Chase Campbell.
Kentucky transfer where she spent 4 years, won a national championship with the Wildcats. Now in her 2nd year with Auburn, her 6th year of college volleyball in total. Here's Campbell, tried to push it over with the left, had to adjust in the air, didn't put enough on it.
You can see right now Campbell and Kiefer having a conversation of exactly where Campbell wants that set. It was a little behind her, it seemed. That's a conversation as a coach. You want your setters and hitters always communicating about where they want the ball exactly.
Dunaway lobs it over, finds the floor.
I think that was such a smart decision by Dunaway. She's had some powerful swings so far this match. And more importantly, that was the half a rotation. DaCosta was not on the court to run that ball down. You can see McCurdy tried to get there. She had to go to the back row to serve.
Shear with the windup. Great play in the back row to keep it up. DaCosta's there. Back row Dreves. Bertucci lunges after it. Thompson far pin into the block. Kept up though. Shear right to Agee. Dunaway chases down, and Bertucci a free ball. Dunn at back set. Bell. Dunn to Bell again. This time she terminates down the line. What a powerful swing from Bell.
It's mid-October. You can't ask for better SEC volleyball. So much great defense out of both sides of the net. And what I love is both teams just kept swinging. Bell the one.
Her 13th kill tonight. That's one off of her season high 14. DaCosta with the dig, sends it over on the overpass. Shear tools the block. Point Auburn.
Auburn in these rallies just willing themselves to win. That was a great tool off the block by Shear in the middle of a bit of an out-of-system confusing point on the Tigers' side.
Kiefer to Campbell, popped it off the block. Edson tight to the net, Shear with a nice adjustment. Shear's got back-to-back.
Right now, it really looks like Auburn's offense is getting to swing wherever they want to. And gosh, are they doing it so well, finding open court. Shear down the line, just like Bell had a moment ago. Alabama's block has got to make an adjustment.
Again, so many weapons that they are very unpredictable offensively. Campbell has the response for Alabama.
Campbell keeping her team in this set and in this match. Will go back to the service line. Not typically a server for the Tide, but she's doing it tonight.
Almost had an ace, too, on her first serve of the night.
That's right. She usually takes all the time she's given before having to serve after the referee blows the whistle, mentally prepares.
This is Thompson, just a free ball over. Auburn's in system. Zimmerman rolls it off the block.
I mean, again and again, Zimmerman or Shear are just bullying their way through the Alabama block. They've got to get up quicker to the net. This Auburn speed of offense is working so to their advantage. Great swing by Zimmerman.
Back set all the way across the court. Edson a back set herself to Zimmerman, who's poked back to her. Towns out of the middle, point Alabama.
Great job by setter Callie Kiefer finding Jordan Towns, who's done a great job tonight of being smart with the sets she is given. That's her 8th kill tonight on 15 attempts. She's hitting 400. That's a beautiful number out of a middle blocker.
Her productivity has really taken off in SEC play. Had 9 kills against Arkansas Sunday. Her season high came last week against Georgia when she had 10, and she is right on the cusp of that number again tonight. Key shock to Towns again, but this one sails a bit too long.
We talked about setter-hitter connection a little bit tonight. Keyshock has struggled to find a solid connection with her middles. That time it was with Towns. Although throughout the season, we've had several conversations with Coach Reed about the Keyshock to Campbell connection.
Towns off the slide. Edson can't pick it up.
I love the decision by Keyshock to go back to Towns, give her another opportunity to swing after the miss hit just a second ago. That was a beautiful slide approach by Towns, waiting on the ball, waiting, and then chasing it down and swinging cross court.
Thompson with a great serve has Auburn out of system. Cross court to AG. DaCosta chasing it down, almost got there, but Alabama's within a point.
Both this set and the last set, Alabama has climbed their way back after Auburn's gotten in the lead. Something that we didn't talk about when we talked about their last matchup, but there were 19 tie scores throughout the match. 17 of those happened, I believe, during the 3rd set that was back and forth, went to extended points last matchup.
Zimmerman blows it right by Thompson.
That ball came so fast off of Zimmerman's hand. Beautiful swing. It's hard to even describe how quick you have to put your platform back row defender and try to get it in the exact spot the hitter hit it to when they hit the ball that hard and it's not slowed down at all by the block.
This is Peyton Dunn, the setter, transfer from Oklahoma. Back set, Towns, too strong. Point Auburn.
It's a couple errors for Alabama, giving Auburn the lead again. They've got to limit those unforced errors, and more specifically, they have to increase that side out percentage, meaning how quickly can they get the serve back? Right now, they're not that efficient.
Get the side out here on the dump from the setter, Kayla Keyshock, who is 3 assists away from 3,000 in her career.
I think that was another really smart decision by Keyshock to go for the dump after her hitters had struggled a couple points. Beautiful dump. Those are so tough to defend.
She's been successful with a couple of them tonight. Campbell upped by Dunn. DaCosta chases it down. Oh, what an effort from Lanham, and a free ball back over to Alabama. Campbell this time terminates as she buries it on the line.
That was a huge swing from Campbell after her swing before had been dug, but she did not give up. Look at this effort by Lanham to keep the ball alive for Auburn. Great rally and sideline for the Tide.
DaCosta, free ball back over. Alabama in system. Campbell from the middle drops it into the front corner.
Beautiful decision by Campbell. There were 3 blockers up in front of her, which means there's no off blocker or a blocker taking off the net to play defense. Great tip, such a smart high volleyball IQ play. IQ, excuse me.
Great serve, has Auburn out of system. Keyshot sets, Campbell dug up by DaCosta. AG is denied. McCurdy up front.
McCurdy again with the incredible defense. The big, important momentum block right there. Blocks can be such a huge momentum point as well. We've talked about that because it can be a little bit demoralizing for the other team when they think they're getting a great swing. Great job by McCurdy.
Campbell spins it off the block, and that is assist number 3,000 for Keyshot.
Alabama getting back into this set is really the Campbell story. Look at that, another kill for Campbell. She's got 13 tonight, 25 total attempts. That is a huge number for a middle and speaks to how disciplined she is, how quick she is, and how much effort she puts into being available to her setters in transition.
Overpass is dropped home by Shear.
A little bit of an awkward point. Bertucci saw the off-speed shot and got there, but accidentally sent it across the net. Auburn has been keeping the lead.
Chelsea McCurdy serving for Auburn, up a point. AG on the far pin, down the line, and she buries it in the corner.
Smart swing by AG, who just had gotten that big block from McCurdy. She went down the line, found the open hole. That's something Auburn's done a great job of, is going for the off-speed shots where Alabama's defenders are not. Alabama needs to do that in return, like AG just did.
Bell right into the block, and it is in play in the corner.
Huge point for Alabama, getting the lead, I believe, for the first time this set. Great block. Alabama's in a strong rotation right now with Paris Thompson, Chase Campbell up in the front row.
Done with a back set to Bell. She snaps it between the block.
Gosh, if you watch that, there was a huge hole between Thompson's right hand and Campbell's left hand. You want those hands as close together as possible as a defensive team, but Bell saw that hole and put the ball through it hard.
Bell checks out after her season high matched 14 kills. Scrambling as Auburn's defense can't return it. Alabama's back in front by 1.
Campbell's going to the back row for her service rotation, which means Towns checks back in. She's also done a great job, got 9 kills tonight, hitting .278. I think right now that's got to be Alabama's plan. Keep passing well, keep finding the middles.
Zimmerman with the adjustment in air to loft it over. Kaylee Palmer. Palmer gets a second swing, and she spins it off the block.
Great swing by Kaylee Palmer, really being patient, letting that ball come down off that high out of system set. You know, she was hurt a lot at the beginning of the season. And Coach Reed told us about how excited she was to get back on the court, to be back a part of her team after missing a good portion of the season to injury in the beginning.
Zimmerman strikes it cross court, but out of play. Alabama on a roll right now. The Tide trying to force a 5th set at home against top 25 Auburn in front of a great crowd.
My name is Ali Khan, and I'm a professional cricket player. Driving my dream car has always been a lifelong goal for me. I always wanted a car which performs the best, and that's why I chose the
Campbell, she has stepped up for her team and just done a great job offensively. You rarely ever see this, but she has 13 of the Tide's 48 kills on the night. She has the most kills out of anyone on the Alabama team. So rare for a middle, and that speaks to how disciplined and athletic she is.
Hitting 440 on the night, too, as she's back to serve. Shear right into the Alabama block. Towns with a wind-up. DaCosta digs it up. Thompson, no touch. Point Auburn.
Auburn definitely needed that point right there. Needed a little bit of a momentum moment. That was a tough swing by Thompson. She missed just wide.
Touched by AG. That's an ace for Lanham.
That is the third time Auburn's gotten an ace when Alabama has been in this specific serve-receive rotation. Alabama has to make an adjustment. It's a one rotation where both outside hitters right there pass right next to each other. They don't have a defensive specialist helping them out.
Back-to-back aces. Fourth in this rotation.
You know, we talked earlier about that 1-to-1 ratio. You want 1 to ace to every miss serve, and missed serves were a huge storyline for Auburn early in this match. They have 13 total, but they're getting back up there with the aces now with 7 total aces on tonight, 2 in a row for Lehan right now.
Towns out of the middle, puts an end to the run.
Such a huge moment to find middle blocker Towns for the Tide. That brings her, I believe, to 10 kills tonight. Huge, huge swing. Excuse me, 9 kills. She's hitting, no, 10, I was correct. She's hitting 316 on the night. Getting double-digit kills for both your middle blockers is so impressive.
Yeah, that's a big point. 23 kills between the two middles for Alabama. Edson, tight, joust, won by Alabama.
Great job by Paris Thompson going up with one hand on that. Those are those moments, those joust moments when the ball is kind of up in the air, 2 players go up at the same time. You just got to be stronger. Those points we say are won in the weight room. Great job by Thompson.
Alabama's lead back to 2 with Natalie Petty serving. Out of system, still good swing for Dreves. Thompson on the pin, rolls it off the block. Dreves upped it for a moment, but that's it. Alabama's up 3, and Brent Crouch wants a timeout.
This is the second time we've seen Alabama in the lead. Going into that break, it was 12-15. Alabama in the lead. Auburn brought it back up 15-all. Alabama's figured it out. Coming out of this timeout, I think something that Coach Reed's definitely going to be telling her team, we can trade points the rest of the match. Auburn can win a point, then we can win a point, and we will win this set. But we can't allow any more runs.
Great night for Chase Campbell out of the middle for Alabama. Team high 13 kills after a very quiet first set. She has come to life in the last 3.
She has done a great job in transition. I love this story.
On the floor, why?
The biggest thing is they are transitioning constantly. They have so much responsibility when it comes to blocking. No matter what the other team does, they're expected to be up on the block in position. You have to travel the same speed as the ball coming out of the setter's hand to get all the way out to the pin and close the block. That is fast. The ball's getting out to the pin in less than a second. It requires so much athleticism, and Chase Campbell and Towns have done a great job by it, partially due to their leadership. Coach Rashinda Reed, when she was a player, played the middle blocker position.
AG with the dig. Free ball from Bertucci. Dreves down the line, and the freshman buries it.
Great swing by Dreves. That point right there has a almost deja vu feeling to the point out of the last break where Auburn's offense just bullies their way into getting a point on the board for their team.
Brent Crouch said she's only a freshman, but she might be the most one of the most well-rounded volleyball players I've ever coached. Thompson cross court and plants it on the line.
That was a really big point for the Tide and a really big swing for Thompson, who heads back to the service line now. That was a beautiful, sharp cross-court shot. You know, I think Alabama's outside hitters have been avoiding that cross-court shot a little bit because of how great DeCosta's been playing defensively tonight. That time, Thompson just found the kill.
Dreves sent back. One more look for Dreves. She goes off speed. Slide for Towns. AG is rejected. 6th block tonight for Auburn.
Huge block, important momentum moment. That was a beautiful job by McCurdy getting out there in front of AG. You see how little room McCurdy left for AG to swing. That's so impressive. Like you said, 6 blocks for Auburn tonight, and McCurdy's been a part of half of those, 3 of them.
Towns goes cross court. It's just a little bit long. Point Auburn.
Wow, you hear a lot of booing in the crowd who thought that ball landed in. I'm going to say from where we were standing, I thought that was in as well.
Towns, great job to just save the play. Up to the back row by Hopkins. AG into the net. Point Alabama. Auburn saying that they didn't even touch it, so it shouldn't be.
Coach Crouch immediately grabs that challenge card. The original call is that it's a point Alabama. Sophie Agee, the referees are calling swung into the Auburn block. It bounced off the Auburn block out of bounds. So we're looking to see if any part of that ball made any contact with the Auburn blocker's arm. Specifically, it looks like we're looking at Bella Bell's right arm. The challenge is that that ball didn't touch the block at all, but that it just touched the tape of the net before bouncing out of bounds.
I thought from our angle that nobody on Auburn touched it.
You know, it didn't look to me like anyone on Auburn touched it, and when players turn around that confidently saying, grab the challenge card, that usually means, and the point will stand. Wow. Call confirmed. The Hawkeye review system agreed that there was a piece of Bella Bell's arm that touched that ball off of Sophie Agee's hand before landing out of bounds. So Alabama will keep the point. That brings the score to win this set, try to extend the match to a 5th.
Done, back set, Bell off the slide, drills it into the corner for her season-high 15th kill.
You know, something as players that we used to say if we disagreed with a call and then won the next point was, the ball never lies. That felt like a the ball never lies swing from Bella Bell. She wanted to really show, hey, I didn't touch that ball and I'm gonna put it away this time.
Down just a point, trying to come from behind to win the 4th set and ultimately win the match. Back to Bell, she's been the hot hand, but picked up by Rapetti. Agee tools the block.
That point right there, scored off the hands of Agee, but I think the credit needs to go to Chase Campbell. There were 3 blockers ready to block Campbell, and they could not get all the way out to the pin in time to block Agee. They were so expecting the ball to go to Campbell. When a player is having as much success as Chase Campbell has tonight, they have a bent of gravity to the opponent's defense, and that gravity created a one-on-one shot for Agee.
And when Agee's one-on-one, she's gonna win that just about every time. There's an ace to follow up immediately, and Alabama's lead is 3.
Alabama needed that ace desperately, coming from setter Callie Kiefer, who's done a great job tonight with 16 assists, 15 digs, and now adding an ace to that stat line. You see that float serve. Rare you'll see DeCosta get.
Auburn has won 8 straight in this series, dating back to 2019. Alabama looking for its first. We have expectations that they can be a team that hosts in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Top 16 get to host. So you're 12th in the RPI. If you lose to a team that is 111th in the RPI, you're almost certainly going to fall out of that top 16.
100%. 100%. There's so much on the line for this Auburn team, who, like you said, currently is 12th nationally in RPI. They're ranked 3rd in the SEC, but you see how the SEC volleyball, Coach Crouch has definitely turned this program around and spoke about how much he just loves coaching this particular group of girls and how well they play together. We can see that a lot tonight for sure.
Last 3 seasons, Auburn has outperformed where they were expected to be in the preseason poll. They were 9th in the preseason poll this year. Right now, they're just a game out of first place. Bell is upped by Bertucci, her 23rd dig tonight. Campbell turned away. Dunn looks to the outside with Shear. Shear once more. This time she terminates.
Great rally coming out of that timeout. Shear putting the ball away for her team. That was a huge, huge point for Auburn. They needed that momentum-wise, and no surprise they looked to Shear, their workhorse, to put that ball away.
Kiefer has to chase it down, backs it all the way to Palmer. Shear goes off speed. Palmer rejected.
That's an out-of-system set. Palmer has to know that the big, prolific Auburn block has had plenty of time to set up and know how to swing over it, around it, go for the off-speed shot, something smarter than that. Because look at this block. Huge, huge hands. Getting so high in the air, had plenty of time to close. Beautiful job by Emma Moore.
Moore, just a true freshman who missed about a month of time, but she's come back the last 2 matches. Top 5 in the SEC in blocks per set at over 1.3.
That's a great number, and such exciting news for the Auburn program that she's doing that already as a freshman, that she's already able to read the fast SEC offense so well and move so quick that, like you said, she's ranked 4th in the SEC in blocks per set.
Coach Crouch said that the injury has limited her jumping ability a little bit, but before the injury, she was touching 10'3". I mean, she can just get up there and make it almost impossible for attackers to get around her or over the top.
You know, every few months, your whole team goes through this series of kind of physical tests where, like you say, you jump, you do the touch, you do some kind of like 5, 10, 5, these little sprints, long jump, all these different measurements and metrics that you take. At 5'6", they didn't even ask to see how high I could touch. For me and the other short girls, they were like, yeah, we would have to lower our whole measurement system. At 5'6", you don't even need to try to jump.
Yeah, we're not asking you to block anything. You just stay in the back row, right?
No, and a few times, like one time we had a situation where a fellow defensive specialist of mine got stuck playing because we ran out of subs. And she went up to block, and it was cute. You know what I mean? When you try to get a few fingertips above the net.
That's not what you want if you're a fan of a team.
Right.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Bell between the block goes cross court, and this set is tied at 22.
Great swing by Bell. The Tide has to find an answer to that. They're in a rotation right now that should be pretty strong for them. Chase Campbell's in, and they've got a good defensive core in the back row. They got to block.
Campbell, she is denied. It's Moore again up front for Auburn, and a 4-0 run for the Tigers have given them the lead.
That was the right decision for the Tide to look for Campbell. But wow, Emma Moore, that's her 4th block tonight.
Serve goes into the net here from McCurdy to tie it back up at 23. The 14th service error for Auburn. Done with a back set. Bell down the line. She has been unstoppable at points tonight.
Bella Bell bringing set and match point to her team with a down-the-line shot, something she's had so much success with tonight. The best players don't just know how to hit every shot, but when to hit every shot. That's exactly what Bella Bell just showed off. Was her volleyball IQ there, and the Tide will call a timeout. Take a moment to take a deep breath, talk as a team.
Facing match point. And it comes back to, because Coach Reed told us this 3 or 4 times yesterday, the biggest thing for them is they just haven't been finishing right now. They did in set 1. It was a tight first set back and forth. Alabama was able to finish. Right now, though, they were up 22-19 just moments ago. Auburn is on a 5-1 run. It's coming back to, again, Lane, the ability to finish sets.
That's right. I mean, coming out of this timeout, I think that I can pretty much write the way that this point's going to start. They're going to look to aiming to serve to get to where her waiting position is for the pass. So that's how the point's going to start. And then as far as how good the pass is, that's everything that Alabama's thinking about right now. Can Kiefer run her offense the way she wants to? Despite that block just now, I think the Tide should look to Kiefer again, Campbell again.
Calling your shot. I like it. In set 4.
Huge swing from Kaylee Palmer, and no, I was wrong. There was not a single part of that point that went the way I thought it would. I thought for sure they'd avoid serving to Francesca Bertucci, as she's had such a great passing night, but that's exactly who they served. She put up a beautiful pass. Kiefer looked to Palmer. That was a great down-the-line swing.
Serve is right on the line, and ace gives Alabama set point. The first of the season for Chase Campbell.
Chase Campbell, Alabama's middle blocker, who doesn't usually serve for the Tide. She has to have the most impressive stat sheet that a middle blocker's ever had between what she's done blocking, hitting, and now an ace. She's got a dig as well.
Back-to-back aces for Campbell, who didn't have any all season long, sends us to a 5th set.
Wow, exciting set.
Rivalry volleyball at its finest. Auburn and Alabama going to 5 sets because why not? The most fitting way to decide it here in Tuscaloosa.
My name is Ali Khan, and I'm a professional cricket player. Driving my dream car has always been a lifelong goal for me. I always wanted a car which performs the best, and that's why I chose the BMW iX.
Expected to set, Kaylee Palmer got the killed, and Chase Campbell 2 aces in a row. You can't ask for a more exciting end to a set than that.
Back-to-back Chase Campbell aces were not on your bingo card?
They were, they were not on my bingo card for tonight. That was a great job by a veteran player, staying calm and rising to the occasion.
First to 15, win by 2 here in set 5 between Bama and Auburn, and AG uses the hands of the block for the kill.
Yes, this 5th set only goes to 15 points, win by 2. They'll switch side at 8 points. Every point matters in volleyball, but in the 5th set, every point matters that much more. That was a great swing by Sophie Agee to start it off for the Tide.
And now she's back to serve. Shear on the pin, goes roll shot. Palmer scooped up by Dreves. Shear pops it off the block. Bertucci lunges after it for her 24th dig. They've gone to Shear 3 times on this point. And Campbell shoves it into the corner.
Chase Campbell with the tip for a 14th kill on the match. That's 14 kills on 28 attempts. Half the time she gets the ball, she's finding open court. Great job by Callie Kiefer. That pass was tight. She went up with one hand, super athletic to get the ball to her middle. Big point for the tie.
Dunn, back set. Here's Bell. She goes cross court. She has been the answer all night tonight for Auburn.
That's right, in the same way that Campbell has been who Alabama looks to in every tense moment. You see Bella Bell has been that for the Tigers.
Chelsea McCurdy to serve for Auburn, down a point. Kiefer tight to the net. That's a great job by Campbell. Thompson, the free ball over. Auburn in system. To Bell, and why not?
That swing was so powerful. She got so high in the air. That ball landed, it looked like in front of the 10-foot line from where I'm sitting. You see this replay. I mean, you can't defend a ball coming that fast without a block in front.
Thompson into the block. Back set. Here's Palmer. Up to by Dreves. Great effort there by Shear. Palmer, roll shot, and it's down. Alabama's back in front.
I love that decision from Palmer to go for the tip, go for the off-speed shot after some heavy swings. Great job finding open court and great effort on both sides of the court. We're seeing great rallies this match, Noah.
Chase Campbell, the new serving specialist for Alabama. It will not be 3 aces in a row for her. Bell, good adjustment in the air. And the overpass is dumped home by Moore.
Practically the whole Bama sideline jumping on the court as Coach Reed grabs the challenge card, arguing that I believe they think Bella Bell made contact with the net as she made contact with that ball, which would be illegal. It is tough to stay disciplined on those overpasses to make sure you get the ball down without getting any piece of the tape. So we're in a challenge right now. If we can see one of those along the net angles, maybe we'll be able to see what the referee saw. Although live, the officials did not think that there was any contact with the net.
And that's always important to note what the call on the floor is. They said not into the net, Auburn point. You have to have clear evidence to be able to overturn it.
That's right. And Alabama will win that challenge. So much energy here in Foster after that call is overturned. So Bella Bell is called in the net. If we can see this replay, maybe a piece of the hand made contact with the net during the play of that ball.
Yep,
and it looks like it right there. Yeah, that was a great review, great challenge call, challenge pull by Coach Reed.
So instead of a 3-3 tie, the 2-point swing gives Alabama a 2-point lead. Shear on the pin, drops the hammer.
I have been so impressed with the way Shear handles those out-of-system sets tonight. That set was high in the air. Alabama's defense had plenty of time to set up, and she's so smart about when she goes for the off-speed shot and so smart about when she makes those heavy swings, doing it in areas Alabama's team just can't react to.
Shear again. Towns from the middle. This is Zimmerman on the pin. Thompson is swatted away. Auburn's tied it at 4.
This has been such an exciting match, and we talked about it early, how important the Auburn block would be. That's 9 blocks for Auburn tonight. That is so tough to win a match when the other team is out-blocking you by double.
Palmer down the line, tools the block. Alabama's back in front.
Beautiful response by Palmer, who I've always thought does a great job of swinging no matter what. She never is too scared to swing. Sometimes you see hitters miss a couple shots, not have success on a couple swings and start to ease up. Palmer never does. She keeps swinging tough no matter what.
Talk about swinging tough. Zimmerman here, but it's too long. Point Alabama.
It looks like Auburn's debating whether or not they're going to grab that challenge card, thinking that ball got a piece of the line, but Coach Crouch disagrees, and the official whistles for the serve. There'll be a replay, but Alabama still has the point, up 6-2, with Repetti back at the service line.
Thompson off the block. Alabama's lead stretches to 3.
Athletic move from Thompson, coming down off the block, keeping the ball in the air, and then making just a quick two-step approach to swing. In an ideal world, a hitter has time to take 4 steps, get a really long approach, have all the time in the world to jump, get all the momentum. She didn't on that play and still found a way to score.
And an ace to immediately follow up.
Beautiful 6th ace for Alabama by Repetti, gives them 8 points, so there will be a side switch now. This 5th set has been competitive, but Alabama absolutely has the lead right now. You can see right now Auburn's 1-0 in matches that have gone to a 5th, and Alabama's 3-1. So both teams have seen a good amount of success. It looks like now a side.
One that they really needed. 4-0 run for Alabama after this set was tied at 4 just moments ago.
You know, I think this is probably the obvious answer, but Auburn has to get a pass. They've struggled passing. You saw that ace right there. They've got to find Bell, Zimmerman, Shear, any of them. They've been hitting so well tonight. Find them. If the situation allows, maybe try to find more in the middle. She's hitting 400 right now, but they've got to get a good look for one of their hitters that's not totally out of system.
Alabama took the first set, but Auburn responded back with the next 2. And when Alabama had their backs against the wall, they won the 4th set. Now a 4-point lead in the 5th, trying to knock off their rival.
You know, you see they're behind in blocks. Alabama's really trying to limit those.
An awesome crowd on hand here in Foster Auditorium trying to cheer Alabama to its first ranked win in 8 years. Zimmerman goes roll shot. Repetti leaps for it. And that's behind the antenna. A much-needed point for Auburn to end a 4-0 run.
That was a good effort by Alabama, and I think a good job by Auburn getting the ball across the net, letting Alabama make the mistake so that they could get back the serve. Alabama's got to pass right now.
Keyshock, joust at the net between her and Moore. Thompson, the windup, upped by DaCosta. Back set, Towns on the slide, sent back. Dreaves is rejected.
Kayla Keyshock with the block, and everyone is fired up on the Tide side of the net. That's not something super common. Keyshock goes up there, and she's taller, so she tries to go up and block for her team. It's not often you see a block solo out of Keyshock, though. She could not have gotten one at a better time for her team.
And there's another. It's Towns up front for Alabama.
What a block for Jordan Towns, who has just been a phenomenal player for Alabama tonight. That was a huge block. She's been a part of 5 of Alabama's 6 blocks tonight. She just really uses her height to her advantage. You watch how she's tracking the hitter. You know, Noah, there's so many things that blockers are thinking about as the play develops that I think about as a back row player, as someone who has never asked to block in my career. But they have this very specific eye sequencing where they watch the ball off the pass and they can see from there, okay, what are the options from the setter? Was the pass good enough that the setter could hit the middle, set the middle, or was it not? And then they're watching the setter. Does the setter have certain tells? Does she bend her back when she's going to set backwards? Does she jump a little different if she's going to set forward? And then they're watching the ball again. Okay, where exactly is going? But as soon as they know where the ball is going, they take their eyes off the ball and they look at the hitter. You can see Towns do that beautifully on that play. She was watching that hitter perfectly lined up for that block. That was a huge point for the Tide.
Both sides of the net tonight for the middle, Jordan Towns. The 5 blocks, but also she's matched her season high with 10 kills. And Alabama looking to move to 4-1 on the season in 5th sets.
Team, I think, has been huge tonight for them. And it adds that extra spice to the rivalry match. Especially, you know, they just lost a few weeks ago to Auburn.
And if you hold on, this is the kind of win that can springboard the rest of your season.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, you see these flashes of talent and these moments that they just have to get more consistent with and string together more often.
Out of the timeout, Auburn down 5. Free ball from Agee. Dreves splits the back row defenders.
Great swing from Dreves and great timing. Like you said, the only 6th rotation player for Auburn. She does a great job defensively in the back.
Diving play, Repetti. Dreves is rejected. Alabama's 3rd block in this set.
And another block for Kayla Keyshock, doing a great job running her offense in the front row and getting up there defensively for her team as well. You see her make that approach, see exactly where the ball is and jump right in front of Dreves. That was a huge point, a huge block for Kayla.
Alabama had 4 blocks total in the first 4 sets. 3 in this 5th set.
3 in this shortened 5th set,
yes.
Might I add. We're only 17 points in, and it will end at 15. That is a sign that a team is doing a great job of, in the match, studying the opponent's hitters, learning their tendencies, and making in-game adjustments. Marks of a great team include being able to see what the other team's presenting you and adjust to it live, because you can do all the studying on beforehand, watching film, coming up with a game plan, but in the match, the team can present something different, and Alabama's done a great job adjusting tonight.
2 of those 3 blocks have come from Kayla Keyshock, who averages just a half a block per set. Chase Campbell and Jordan Towns, the 2 middles, have been fantastic tonight for the Tide.
Middle blockers who definitely benefited from the coaching of
4 points away from their first win against Auburn since 2019. 4 points away from their first ranked win since 2016. Cross court is there. It's Zimmerman to pull it within 4.
Huge swing for Zimmerman, going cross court to the deep corner. Those swings, if they don't get blocked at the net, they're almost impossible to defend because of where they land. That was a great, great swing from Zimmerman.
Campbell from the middle.
Great swing by Chase Campbell. Earlier in this match, we talked a little bit about how Alabama struggled to side out. They could get stuck in rotations. That was a great job immediately getting the serve back with a beautiful swing from Chase Campbell, who has just been so dominant all over the court tonight.
Back set. This is the slide upped by Bertucci. Bell's going cross court for another kill, her 20th tonight.
No surprise. Auburn looks to Bella Bell. They're gonna continue to do that. That's something that Sophie Agee and Chase Campbell have to keep an eye on as they're in the front row, and it's their blocking assignment to try to shut her down. That was a beautiful cross-court swing.
Little bit long from Agee. She's asking for a touch, but doesn't get it. Rashinda Reed picks up the challenge card, and she wants to take another look at it.
So Coach Reed just looked at the official and said, I'm challenging that there was a touch on that ball, and that ball landed in the court. That's two opportunities for the officials to look at and see if they missed whether it touched any piece of Auburn's block and if it touched any part of the sideline or the end line. Coach Reed has been very successful with these challenges tonight. They're still relatively new to volleyball. And so it's been an adjustment for coaches to remember remember what they can use it for. And Coach Reed's done a great job of pulling that when she needs to. At the very least, this gives her an opportunity to have a conversation with her team. It's hard to know what the officials are looking at exactly, but here should be a look at what's going on. Maybe we can watch the fingers of Bella Bell and McCurdy, see if Agee got any piece of them on this swing. Bama, call overturned. Coach Reed fired up after that. And Sophie Agee, who now is credited with the kill on that ball, gets to stay up there in the front row, another rotation. That was a huge point for Alabama, and Coach Reed will ask subject. You know, that is something that I used to be like, anytime there was a long break and you can maybe get confused, like, wait, where exactly were we in the lineup? I was like, we can always ask the officials.
Yeah.
It's always easy. Ask them before the serve, because if you're in the wrong rotation and the serve goes off, that can be called as a point for the other team. So Alabama's getting a lineup check, smart move, you know, a little bit of a pause in the game, want to make sure that they're right, having Callie Kiefer back at the service line right now.
She said, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Two points away from a win here in the fifth set. It took a win in the fourth to get to a fifth. Now Bama up 5 on a long extended pause here, checking the rotation.
Yeah, everyone seems confused as to who should be serving for Alabama right now, whether it should be Callie Kiefer or Sophie Agee. It's one of the two of them. But trying to remember the last sequence of points. So Sophie Agee will go back to the service line, and Paris Thompson will check back in the front row for the Tide. And this long break between that challenge call and now the lineup check will finally resume in this fifth set. Alabama has the serve up 13-8.
Done a back set. Bell goes cross court and splits the back row.
No surprise at all. Bella Bell rises to the occasion, keeps her team in this match. Great cross court swing. She's had so much success painting that right sideline of Alabama's defense.
Palmer with a good adjustment. Bell once more. This time Kiefer's there, but it can't be chased down into the stands. Back-to-back kills for Bell to pull it within 3.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Bell is swinging so great cross court. And now Coach Reed will call the timeout to have a conversation with her team. You see Callie Kiefer was there in the right position, but sometimes that ball just comes so hard off the hitter's hand. Look at the strength from Bella Bell. That even when you're right there, you make the right read, the right move. The ball can just ricochet.
It's not just the volume of kills tonight for Bell, 22, a new season high, but only 2 errors and 43 swings. She's hitting 465. It's the volume, but it's also the efficiency.
She's so impressive, and she looks so calm out there. It speaks to the fact that she has played at the highest level on the biggest stages. She's done such a great job of leading her team offensively, of staying level. She doesn't look like she's getting too excited or too down after any given point. And that leadership and maturity is really benefiting the Tigers right now, staying in this 5th set.
Won a national championship at Kentucky a few years ago, and Coach Crouch said she has been vocal in terms of letting her team know what it takes to be at that level, to win at a high level. They want to host a first-round NCAA tournament match, something that Auburn doesn't do, but she's had that experience, and she's been the one to talk to her teammates about how important that is.
You even look at her right now. She doesn't look like she's emotionally too up or too down. She's just ready. She's ready to go. She's ready to set the ball. Thompson and Campbell for Alabama have to make putting up a strong block against Bella Bell their #1 priority right now.
Campbell, too strong. Another Auburn point for now anyways, because Rashinda Reed is reaching for the challenge card. And we will take another look at it.
Once again, Alabama arguing that there was a touch up at the net by the Auburn block, trying to see if Emma Moore made any contact with that ball as she went up there with Campbell, who swung right there from behind Kiefer. You see the slow-mo. Maybe we'll get a look. Who's one challenge? But since she won the last challenge, she kept her 2 challenge cards. From another angle here, trying to see. I mean, maybe that middle finger from Moore.
The spin of the ball changed.
That's right. That's another great thing to look at.
Yeah, I don't think the hand moved. So my initial reaction is no touch, and the call will stand. But
right. That's exactly right. Regardless, like I said earlier, this is a good moment for Coach Reed to talk to her team. Tense match, tense moment. It looks like we're about to get the call from the official. Maybe. Not quite.
Suspenseful.
She's teasing us. Here's the along the net look. See for any of those fingers snapping back. No, I mean, from what I can see, but I've been wrong before. And the call will stand. Call confirmed. Auburn gets that point. That brings the score to 11-13. Chase Campbell missed that swing just long, deep out the back court. This is a good rotation for Alabama, though. They've got so many offensive weapons out on the court. They're going to look to side out right now, starting with a good pass.
Campbell pushes it into the net. Auburn has now scored 4 in a row to pull it within 1.
Alabama remaining calm, but Chase Campbell definitely hates that she missed that one. She was going for that tip she's had so much success with tonight, finding that right up by the net corner of the court. Missed along the net, though.
Shear down the line, buries it in the corner, and we are tied at 13.
What an exciting match this has been. It's 13 all in the 5th set off of the beautiful swing from Shear. I mean, you can't ask for better volleyball than this. She finds the open corner.
Thompson spins it off the block, and Alabama's got match point.
Okay, you have to talk about that swing from Thompson, but also that pass was not there from AG. Bertucci runs it down, puts it up in the perfect spot for Thompson to swing. Bertucci has had just an amazing match tonight. She's been all over the place defensively and also racking up those assists.
Serve goes long. tied at 14, and not only are we in the fifth set, but we are going extra points in the fifth set.
It's a great reminder, fifth set is a game to 15, but it's win by 2, so it doesn't matter who wins this point, there is going to be a next one guaranteed. Auburn struggled with some missed serves earlier tonight. This is not the time to miss one right now.
They do. Wow.
Did I do that? Was that me?
You told him not to.
Oh my goodness, I know. I was just trying to give a little subtle reminder. That's when you don't want to miss a serve. That gives Alabama match point again, 15-14. Natalie Rapetti heads back to the service line after these teams traded service errors.
Ranked win in 8 years. Ranked win since 2016. First win against Auburn since 2019. Alabama in a 5-set thriller pulls off the upset.
I mean, there's no better feeling than winning against your rival team on your home court. You can see the Tide is feeling it right now. The fans are feeling the energy, bringing the energy. This is a huge match for the Tide.
The biggest win by far in the Rashinda Reed era for Alabama as the Tide take down not only their rival, but a top 25 team for the first time in 8 seasons. What a night in Tuscaloosa, and that'll do it from Foster Auditorium as Alabama wins it in 5 sets. 16-14 the final over Auburn. For Lane Rizzo and our great SEC Network crew, I'm Noah Reed saying so long.